Hello and welcome to another episode on Live, Laugh, Learn with yours truly. So today, our third episode, we are going to be talking about all things, whether or not you are busy or whether or not you're being productive. And I want to talk about this because I find too often that we are in a place, as we're talking about personal development, we're in a place where we're like, well, I just got to do what I got to do. But in reality, you need to sit back and think whether or not you are actually just being busy or are you being productive, okay? And I had to think about that for myself, I would say, probably maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And I remember doing some event and my mom saying, Mary, you always doing something. And I said, yeah, if I don't do it, who's going to do it, right? And she was like, well, you just need to, take time and rest. And I'm like, okay. But how many of us know that when God has a word for us, he's going to get us, he's going to get our attention to go back and just meditate and think about some things as it is being said. Just like when he got me out of domestic violence, it's just different things that God, even though we are trying to be busy, God has a way of, he knows how to get your attention, okay? And I want to talk about busy. Let's talk about being busy, right? So what does it mean to be busy? Well, let's look it up in a dictionary. It says having a great deal to do. Keep occupied. Think about that. Having a great deal to do, always being occupied. But it doesn't say anything about you're producing anything. It just say you always have a great deal to do. And some of us, we can say we got a great deal to do at work, right? We got a great deal to do at home. We got a great deal to do at church or etc. And this is just to keep occupied, just to keep being occupied. And you will find that when you're trying to keep being occupied and having a great deal to do, that life is passing you by and you're not doing the things that God will have you to do. I used to just sign up for different events just to be out there. Oh, I'm going to sell a book or I'm going to do XYZ. And it's like, no, it's not you're going to. God is going to place you where he will have you to go, and he's going to show you what he wants you to do and where he wants you to go. And as I look back over that, just imagine, I remember going to Newport News and only selling one book. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. I paid this amount to be here and drove from my location to spend so many hours out here just for the sake of being occupied, right? And not even breaking even, actually being, depleted, being upside down. And even going to, I remember years ago, me and my kids, we went to, I believe, it was South Carolina, and having to put that on a credit card and having to go to, it was a conference. I believe it was a conference or a fair, and I was part of it, and it was great to be a part of it. And yes, I sold enough books just for the sake of maybe the hotel room, but not gas, not for the rent-a-car, just to get there. So we have to think about these things as it pertains to being busy. When you are just being busy, you are actually wasting your time. It is not going to be profitable. Sometimes, some of us, we are just being busy just for the sake of, I just always want to have something to do, or I always want to be on the go, or make it appear that you are actually making impact and you're not. You have to sit with yourself. And sometimes we don't want to sit with ourselves. We are busy doing XYZ because we may be afraid to sit with ourselves, or some people may be afraid to be lonely, or just having to, I would say, having to face the fact of how you really feel. Because when you're not having a great deal to do and you're just alone with yourself or alone with your family, you will realize exactly what you have to work on. You cannot get in this pace where, oh yeah, well, the church got this going on, so I'm going to sign up for that. But you don't have yourself right. And we have to come to terms with that. When you're trying to be busy just for the sake of, oh, it's something available, or just for the sake of, I'm going to always go, that is something you need to really think about. Why? What is your purpose of wanting to be busy? Is it you don't want to come to terms with who you really are? Are you running from something? Do you want to look a certain way for certain people? Or do you want to look like you have it all together? These are things you really need to sit with. But enough about being busy. Now let's talk about what does it mean to be productive? Because we get this confused. Oh, I'm busy. I'm booked and busy. That's the saying. Oh, I'm booked and busy. Yeah, you booked and you busy. So you got a great deal of things and you keeping occupied. But is it doing anything for that spirit man on the inside of you? Are you truly operating your gift, or are you just doing things just to get back? Okay. Are you helping someone not just for the sake of monetary, you're going to get something in return, but are you helping to save someone? Are you solving a problem that God will have you to solve to help someone else that may be struggling and have something that it could be a great ordeal for someone, but you overcame it? But are you so busy that you can't realize that that is what God will have you to do, but you so booked and busy? Think about that. I'm not saying that you should not be able to create multiple streams of income, of course, but make sure that it is leading you to be productive and not being booked and busy, because being booked and busy is not going to further someone else. It may further them, oh, their hair, nails, or what have you, but it does not reach to the core of the problem that someone may have, that God is trying to get you to answer that problem and help them with a particular problem that's deep within. Think about that. All right, let's talk about being productive. So what does it mean to be productive? It means producing or able to produce large amounts of goods, crops, or other commodities, relating to or engage in the production of goods, achieving or producing a significant amount or result. Now you see, busy don't say nothing about that. It does not say anything about producing anything. It says you keeping occupied, and it is saying that you have a lot of stuff to do, but it doesn't say anything about producing or goods or achieving. It says nothing about that when we talk about busy. So when we talk about being productive, when you say, oh, I'm being productive, that means you are producing goods. That is goods to help someone else. That is good. You're achieving something. It said achieving or producing a significant amount, or you have results. What results do you have in your life? What productivity do you have to show, to say, okay, Lord, this is what I'm doing, or to show someone while you're out in this world, yes, I have a business, but I'm being productive. And that is not signing up for everything. That is saying no to certain things. In order for you to be productive, you got to say no, I'm I'm not going to sign up for that just because it is available, because that's going to put me in a category of being busy. No, I don't want to be busy. I want to be effective. And being effective is producing, is being productive. You are designed to produce goods. The word tells us all the time, I say it all the time, we can tell a tree by the fruit it bear. I can tell you all day long, but what am I showing you? Someone can tell you all day long, but what are they showing you? Okay? I can go back and forth and say, well, the sky is this color. You can say, no, the sky is that color. But when you look at it, it's like, no, the sky is actually this color. So we can do or say whatever we want to. God give us free will, but at the same time, we are not free from the consequences of that free will He has given us. He don't want to manipulate us. So the Lord has given us the ability to choose right or wrong, to choose whether or not to be busy or to be productive. Think about this, Jesus. I just was thinking as I was just sitting there, I was actually just sitting there reading the Word of God, and God just gave me something to talk about for the next podcast. I was like, really? He's like, no, this is something I want you to talk about because it's something that you struggle with, and I help you to see this area of being busy versus being productive. And I said, okay, Lord. All right, let's just say Jesus, when he was with his disciples. Now, you know, his disciples tried to stop him from going to the cross, okay? He was in a position of being productive because he wanted to produce goods to achieve a particular result, not for himself, but for us. So we can have this life that we have today, okay? He wasn't so busy, oh, I'm going to be busy doing this for myself or just to be occupied. No, everything he did, he had us in mind. He had someone else in mind, not just us, our brother, our neighbor, whoever we come in contact with. He had them in mind. So what that means is he was trying to produce some goods that's going to benefit him. Just like when you go to the grocery store, you have goods on the store, you have goods on the shelf, right? You have goods all around, right? That is them producing something, being productive. Like they have warehouse to produce goods so that we can, thank you, Lord, so we can receive the benefits of it. So because they spent, think about this, Jesus spent so many years, so much of his time training the disciples, healing the sick, preaching. He didn't say, well, I did it for myself. He did it so that we can see that it is possible. And that's what being productive is all about, producing, achieving an end result to benefit someone else. Being busy is not going to do that. Being busy is really just for yourself. It's benefiting yourself. For what reason? So the benefits of being productive, it helps other people. It helps other people. You produce goods and you have there's a lasting satisfaction and a lasting outcome, whether you get something monetary or not. It's just something that gives you joy at the end of the day. Yes, we met our quarter, like if you're in a warehouse. Oh, yes, we was able to help this young lady that was in need. Or yes, we was able to help this family that was in need. Because I was in the right place at the right time. Or because God positioned me to meet this person and in my going. That's something that I'm thankful of, just teaching that God has given us to receive, and how some things may not necessarily make sense years ago, but when it's a piece of the puzzle that God brings to you, it gives you that understanding. And me and my husband, who was listening to Creflo Dollar, and he says something about being evangelizing, and it was so profound. And it was profound to the point of, the Lord wanted us, he said, in our he broke it down to the point of, in the Greek translation, what the Bible was written in the Greek times, right? And he just broke down Greek, Hebrews, just different translations so we can understand it. And in our going, we shall evangelize. That means in our going, as far as us living our day-to-day life, it is for us to be able, our life should be a witness and a testimony to other people so that they can see the light and they will want Christ, okay? They will want to get to understand and know him so that they can, in their going, be able to evangelize to someone else, okay? So I wanted to share that as we talk about personal development in this season. And I can't just stress the importance of personal development, because if you are not right, you can't give nothing to no one. I said all the time, when it comes down to me as a wife, me as a mom, me as a woman of God, or me as a worker or a writer or what have you, if I'm not right, I can't help you, okay? And as I am learning day to day, and God is just showing me different things to share with you, I just hope that you understand and you take the time to sit with yourself, to educate yourself, and allow God to speak to you to see what is it that you need to receive from me and what is it that may not necessarily apply to you. My bishop say all the time, if you read a book, you may not necessarily be able to, everything may not be necessarily for you, but if you just get one thing, or you hear a word or what have you, he can just say one thing to you and it be the answer to something that will help you further on in life. So until next time, I hope that